Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Agency Life. I had a couple of weeks there where we didn't have an episode. I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I think if anyone knows how much it can play around with your schedule and also finding a quiet space to do a podcast. So today I'm going to do one myself because I've just come back from Finland, where I was working with the team in Avidly, helping them create their culture code, and we're well on the way to making that happen. And it just brought up the topic of culture. And I thought I would just share a couple of points on this over a few minutes to talk about how important is it to have great culture in your agency. It really is a topic that I hear people talking about. You hear a lot of talk about culture, but what are we actually trying to create when it comes to culture? We work with hundreds of agencies, and I've worked personally with probably well over 600 agencies right now over the past 6 years. And some of the top challenges that we hear from agencies are that they are struggling to create a good agency culture. They are struggling to find good talent, and they're struggling to retain those talents. So if this is 3 topics that you are struggling with in your agency, having a good culture obviously is going to solve the first one. But where do you start? How do you even create it? And when we talk about culture, let's just kind of get something sort of clear about what it is. It's a set of living relationships working towards a shared goal. It's not something you are, it's actually something you do. It's about your attitudes, values, goals, and practices, the characteristics of an institution or organization. And agency culture is about how you interact with each other in your business. And so it's definitely, important. I can see it myself. And why is it important today for you and your business? It really is important for you to attract and retain top talent. You're going to have to stand out from the estimated 500,000 digital agencies out there in the world. You don't have to be a large business to have a winning culture, but it's about bringing together great employees and good fit clients. When you do have a good culture, it attracts those people that want to work with you. Today, people want to belong to a business, and a business that is clear about its vision and its purpose. They want to be part of a business that is making a positive difference in the world, a business that cares about their careers, it cares about its people, it compensates those people with good wages. And not only the money factor, it's about the perks and the benefits. Things like freedom and flexibility, working from home, 1 day a week minimum, maybe more if something is needed to happen with the person working for your agency. These are all factors that people take into consideration now. Sometimes it isn't always about the money. Of course, people need a certain amount to keep going. But if they feel they're belonging to a cause or working with you to help businesses achieve their marketing goals, they can work from home 1 day a week, they have good holidays, they've got good benefits. That can be a factor in them choosing the next job. So by having those things, you might say, we can't compete with the big boys. We can't offer that amount of money. However, if you can offer other things around the money, you could stand in a very good position, because sometimes people don't want to travel to the big cities anymore. There's so many factors going on with how people choose where they work in today's day. Culture and creating a culture code are 2 very different things, though. So I'm going to talk to you about how actually what the differences are when you're talking about culture and a culture code. And the culture code is what I've just been creating with Avidly, and I'm working on a number of different things. In fact, I've got a masterclass coming up, and I'll tell you where you can get that as well. So why is it important? There is a Harvard study, and we all know, Harvard's the best, that shows that companies with a great company culture they generate 765% more net income over 10 years than those companies who don't. Now, if that isn't a number to make you stand up and go, do you know what? Our culture could be better, or in fact, we don't have a culture at all. That's a number I think to keep in mind. It makes good business sense. And culture is to recruiting as product is to marketing. So remember that. It's actually a really important factor for your business. Here's some of the things to kind of the downside of if you don't make culture a priority. You could end up with a bad reputation as a place to work. And employees now are looking up employers' Glassdoor recommendations. So if you think about, they're going to go to forums, they're going to ask about your business. Everything's online now, guys. So, if you had that shouting match with an employee and they hit to Facebook to talk about it, that can be found. And these are important factors for us to remember. How we hold ourselves in our businesses is really, really important. And we all have those stress days. God, I even did it myself today. I was like stressed, and I know that I could have been handling things better, but we're all trying to work through it. But you have to remember that your energy and how you behave in your business, your employees are picking up on that. So it is important to try and, look after your own energy, keep your health good, keep your outlook good, keep your sleep good, so that when you come into the office, you're able to handle things that are going on. Prospects will say things to you like, not hearing great things about your work. That comes from your culture. You're like, why are they not hearing great things about your work? Why are you not hearing these not great things? If you walk into the office and it feels heavy, a heavy energy, or there's a lot of whispering going on, or people are going out of the room constantly talking on phones, like what are they talking about? Who are they talking to all the time, consistently? That creates a bad culture in your business. A big one, I think, that is one of the ones that I noticed straight away. I do visit quite a lot of agencies. And one thing I know where the culture can be improved on is if the office is messy. This is meant to be a business where you're proud to come into. Are there untidy desks? Do people not clean up in the kitchen? Are you constantly sending emails to people about, hey, the kitchen needs getting cleaned? And interesting enough, like I work with agencies in South Africa, and in that particular region, it is a lot easier to have cleaners come to your business or your home, so the whole culture is, having a cleaner is kind of well normed. Same in the Middle East, Singapore, having cleaners is a norm. So sometimes people aren't used to cleaning up after themselves at home. So if those people are coming into the office and you don't have a conversation about, we clean up after ourselves, we don't have a cleaner here. But even just comment, if you think about it, just general good manners, whether you're male or female, you're standing up, bringing a dirty cup to the kitchen. You can look around at your colleagues. If you are thinking and interacting in a way that's supporting everyone, you can just look around and go, any other cups for the kitchen? I'm doing a wash, or I'm putting the dishwasher on. That does not take too long, but it also shows other people that you care, and that can create a really good culture. It sounds so simple, but I've seen it work. If the team is not bonding, that's when you really need to make culture a priority. If there's just coming in, clocking out, there's no talking or, socializing, you can organize end of month events. But if they're not doing anything outside of that, like why? Have you got the right people that are working and vibing together on the team? Can you facilitate that? Can you organize a book club? Can you help them come together as a team to help those bonds strengthen? Because if you work well with somebody that you get on with, it is a bonus. It makes work a better place to be, which then improves the culture. If your utilization is under 70%, and this is a number that we hold very strong in the agencies that we work with, you have to get the most out of your team. You are in the professional services business. You are only as good as the time billed and the results that time is billed under, and the client being happy. And if you're not getting 70% out of your team, there could be some other factors, but really you're going to strive towards that. If you've all the systems in place, if your product like your product knowledge is strong, the team is strong, your project management system is strong, well, then you should be able to get above 70%. And if you're not, you've got to dig into the culture. Another thing that can be a side effect of not having a good culture, and these are a bit of indication. If you're saying yes to a few of these, you might be looking sideways at your own self going, oh no, God, these sound too familiar. It's okay. You can fix it. It takes a while, but it can be fixed. But another thing that is a symptom of not having a good culture is the team not looking out for each other. So if somebody is sick or somebody is on holidays and things fall over, or there wasn't a plan put in place before they left, or they're doing a bit of, that's not my job, that is a bad sign, because everyone has to look out for each other on sick leave, on holidays, on planned leave, on paternity leave. There has to be a plan in place, and there has to be people in your business ready to pick up and go, it's okay, I can help with that. If you are not sending out a weekly or bi-weekly temperature check, we recommend that you use something like Office Vibe. If you're an agency of around 8 people or more, under that it's a bit, it doesn't really work. But more than 8 people, you can send out a temperature check. You can ask the team a question, and if you're under 8 people, you can kind of just do it in a quick, maybe anonymous Google form. But above 8, we use Tiny Pulse or Office Vibe, and that will give you an indication of how the team's feeling, things like that. If you're going to do it and you're under 8 people and you do a Google survey form that's anonymous, that's something else you can do as well. Now, if you're not getting any feedback, that is a sign of apathy, which is also a sign that people don't care and they're already, going, I don't really care. If you are getting feedback, either positive or negative, that's great. Even the negative feedback, you can turn it around. You can do something with it. The other thing that is a symptom of not having a good culture is you've got constant client and staff churning. That is a really indication for yourself that you could be working and improving on your culture. So look, if you've been nodding your head and you're in the car, you're walking or whatever, and you're listening to this and going, no, I have a problem. There's at least 3 of these. That's okay. It can be fixed. The way to fix it is, I actually have a 6-step process, and I've worked on this consistently with agencies over the years. It does turn around. It just takes a few months and a bit of work and a bit of planning. So where you start is, I have in the Happy and Healthy Agency book, and on the resource section, if you go to the happyhealthyagency.com/resources, the place you've got to start is about really getting crystal clear on your agency story, your vision and your mission. It's an agency positioning exercise. I should probably think of a better name for that, actually. I probably will. But what it does is a series of questions that you as the agency owner go off and answer yourself, maybe with your partner, your business partner, your mentor, your coach, and start to dig deep into, why are you actually here? Like, why are you in this business? What are you doing? What are the goals? Where are you going? Who do you like to work with? What is your story? And document it. And it's a really important thing to actually get straight. You need to get it straight for client acquisition. You need to get it straight for recruitment. You need to get it straight for if you're going to fix your culture. So as I said, people are now choosing to belong to a particular company because of their values, because of their mission, because of their vision. It's most people are looking for that. They know they can go and get a job. They know they can go and pay the bills. But they want to feel like they're getting up in the morning and they're belonging to something. So what is that story? I have yet to meet an agency owner that does not have an incredible story, a really interesting story about why they started the business, what they were doing before, what was the day that went, right, that's it, I'm setting up an agency, or how did it come about? Was it a night out with a business friend that turned into a business partnership? There's always a story. So dig it out, write it down, document it. Going forward, it's a great thing to actually make a video about that for, we love working with our these type of clients. And, oh, by the way, this is my story. And you can also do it for recruitment. You can go, look, this is me. I'm, Jack, and I set up this agency 5 years ago, but this is why. Showing your personality today is really vital in getting that connection with good fit clients and good fit employees. So once you do the mission and exercise and the values and all that, and you have that straight, just put it to one side for the moment. You're going to also survey the team. So if you can set out a time, and I'll loop back to number 1 again. You set out a time to meet with set out a time to create a survey for the team. You're going to meet with them in a second. And on the survey, you're going to have, why do you like working at this agency? Why is it important for you to have certain perks and benefits at the job? Like, what is important to you? What are your values? What kind of companies do you value? So have a think about what are the survey in the survey questions. What do you want to get out of it? Now, I have an example one, and that's part of the masterclass, so you don't have to think too much. But if you wanted to just jot down a few things going, okay, for you, in your agency, what's important for you to find out from the team? What team building events do they like to do? What's their communication style? There's loads of things that are involved in creating a good culture. So once you get the results back, you're going to strip out all the people's names and you're going to put up the answers into a deck. And then you're going to take the deck and present together with the vision and your agency story about who we are, what we do. You're going to just look for your team. As you do it, definitely book a 90-minute workshop with the team, all in the room together or on Zoom or whatever, if they're remote. And you're going to present your story going, hey, reminder, this is why I'm here. This is who we are. This is what we do. And you're going to look around the room and see who's engaged in that meeting. Are people leaning in? Are people disengaging? Do they really believe in your business? And are they on board? Are they going to come on this ship with you? The next thing to do in that workshop is to actually pull up the answers and discuss them with people, just talk about the commonalities, talk about the things that were different. And from that room, in the next exercise you're going to do is actually get their own values. You're going to choose 5. And this is something that we've done before. And those 5 values are going to be 5 values for the agency that everyone agrees on. So how you do this is you would get each of the people to write down their 5 values that they feel themselves. Now, some of those answers might have been up on the board, but some might have changed. It's okay. So on a Post-it note, you get each person to write them down individually. Then you get to pair them into depending on the size of your agency, but you could probably put them into pairs and ask them to look at the values and just come up with a set of 5 between the pair. And then you'd put them into a group of 4 and for them to agree on a set of 5. And you keep doing that until eventually you have the whole agency has decided on 5 values. Now, a pro tip in here is keep the reminder that while we're talking about values for the agency, has the customer been considered? Have you thought about what values the customer would appreciate? So it might be really great to have flexibility at work. Flexibility could be a value. So flexibility at work, yes, I want to work from home sometime, or I want to do these things. But let's think about flexibility when it comes to our clients. So having the values for your agency, but also flicking them around and going, do these values serve our customers? And that's something that really it can come out, especially in this day and age when we're all looking for freedom, we're all looking for everything that we want. When we're in an agency, we serve the customer. The customer is the key to our business. So that's a kind of a pro tip that I'll give you. And once you do the workshop and you get the values, in the workshop, you can talk about team building events. What do people want to do? You can put together like an ideas list. You can put together when are the birthdays coming up? What do people want to do on those birthdays? Do they want a cake? Do they want, cupcakes? Do they want sandwiches? Or are they sweet or savory? You can do all those kind of discussions and brainstorming of ideas. The next thing you're going to do is, and this again is a kind of a bonus, is to talk about communication guidelines. What are the most important things that everyone values when it comes to communication? I'll give you an example, because this also helps with good culture. In one of the agencies that we work with, they have a sort of headphones off time of the day. There are some people that love working with their headphones on. They love blocking out the noisy salespeople. They love doing that, but that can make it difficult to interact. So there's a headphones on and headphones off time. So what are the policies, like the guidelines for communication, the office rules, if you like? I think it's sort of a tangent to culture, but it does set a really good culture if you can use it in this particular workshop to get those lists, to get those guidelines out. So again, the same exercise, you'll get somebody writing down maybe their top 3, working guidelines. If I have my headphones on, please don't disturb me unless it's urgent. If I get a Slack message, I will respond to it within 4 business hours. Like, what are the guidelines that everyone needs to work together to make things better? Now, you will get some venting in this. You'll get some people talking about, oh, I hate when this happens, and that's good. Get it all out. Get everyone to do what guidelines do they need, and work on it. And then again, in the same previous exercise, somebody writes down 3 individually. Then you can put them into groups, until you have a cohesive list. Like, it shouldn't really be more than 10 because it's going to get a bit messy. But if you look up, and you will print these, and these will be on the wall. These will be the office guidelines that we all agree to, that everyone signs off on. And now you have a place of, okay, we have a baseline. This is how we all communicate and work better together. I would definitely recommend putting the values up on the wall as well. I work with an agency in London called Hoxo, and they have painted up beautifully on the wall, "We are," and all their values are written there. They are, when you turn the corner of the agency and you walk in, you see them, and they're just brilliant. And they have changed the whole culture of that agency, and also given prospects who come in a reason to understand who this business is. And I know that has converted a prospect into a sale in one occasion, where they went, oh, right, this is the type of business you are. The proposal's right, the offer's right, everything's right, and now this is sealing the deal for me. So get those values up, painted on the wall, or you can make a team building night out of it, where there's the design going on. One of the agencies I work with in Sweden, they took canvases into the office and painted. Everyone got to paint their own version of the values word onto a canvas. So there's many ways you can do it, but definitely get it done. In addition to this, and this will be a job that you're going to do as well, you need to have a space where everything is very easy to find. So maybe in the beginning, it's a Google folder. And in that Google folder, it has all the company policies, the company procedures, your perks and your benefits that are available to the staff. Everyone must know what their perks and benefits are and how it works for them, and do it in this workshop as a reminder. Okay, guys, just in case you didn't know where everything was, this is where it is. In the future, you can make a video about it where you can say, we have perks and benefits like this, and that will be part of your recruitment. And then as you get bigger, you might use a HR tool like Workday to hold all this information, so anyone can look up, okay, how many holidays do I have? What are my benefits? What are my perks? What am I entitled to? Is it an education budget? Etc. So giving that area, and just a bit of a reminder, there's a lot goes on in providing these perks and benefits. It's really good. And then you get to the fun part of the workshop, where office decor. I've walked into so many agencies that are just like bland, and there's no reason to be. You're creative people, and it really is important for somebody to walk in and feel like they are, an extension of their home in another way. And this goes again to what I spoke about earlier. If they've got pride in the place that they work in, they are going to keep it cleaner. They are going to be more involved, and you are going to have a better culture. So deciding on things, and it doesn't have to be that much. You can take a budget and head on up to IKEA and get some plants, fake or otherwise, real. It doesn't matter. Pictures of photographs of plants, or decals, something that everyone in that workshop agrees, hey, what would we like? And everyone gets to pick something. And then you pick a theme and actually have your logo up on the wall. Like, you might not own the office, you might be leasing it, that's okay. Just paint it up, you can paint it down afterwards. And then when it comes to remote workers, start to think about what can you give them that can help them bond with the headquarters, the master office. Is it a framed logo of the company logo in a frame? Is it a mascot? Is it a plant? You've all chosen, we love, aloe vera plants. Everyone should have one. So what can your remote workers have in their office, in behind them, in front of them, to remind them that they are part of the office as well? Like a little pack, if you like, for remote workers. And it doesn't have to be expensive. So once you've done all that work in the workshop, you can then look at creating a culture committee. And the committee's job is going to be meeting once a month, planning the birthdays that are coming up. Now, you as the agency owner are going to have to give them a budget for this. Like, culture is not free, unfortunately. It does require a budget. But like, I'm going to just remind you in a second why spending money on this will turn into a benefit back for your business. So set a budget that you're going to allow them to spend every month, and give that budget to the culture committee. They're going to meet maybe at the beginning of each month and start 4 or 5 people max. It doesn't have to be a lot. They're going to plan out what are the birthdays that are coming up for the next month. Okay, who's organizing the cake? Okay, how much are we spending on? Oh, does Tommy even like cakes? Actually, no, he doesn't. He likes sandwiches, so let's get him something different. So they're just going to have a conversation about the birthdays coming up and planning that and delegating it. Then they're going to plan the team building events. Is there an end of month? Is there an offsite thing? Is there something to do? And we always recommend linking it back to the values of your agency. If it's about communication, could you do a team building event that promotes communication? Is it skills and outdoors? Like, what do people want? They will actually share that with you. And then the next thing is to plan, which is a really good marketing tool and also great fun for your agency, is to plan some social media content around that. So maybe once a week, each of the culture committee members owns your agency Instagram account, your Twitter account, the LinkedIn, that every day you're posting up something about why it's a great place to work, how much fun you're having, what's going on. And your clients are going to love this, and your prospective employees are going to love this as well. And that's how, by having a culture committee with a small bit of budget, doing birthdays, team building events, and taking over the social media every week, having a great office decor, everyone in the agency knows their company policies, procedures, perks, and benefits, where they are. You've done the workshop together to get the values and to get the agency communication guidelines, get them decided upon, printed up on the wall. After you've done the survey and after you've shared the story. And those are the 6 steps in creating a great agency culture code. It's ongoing, it's breathing. Every quarter, you as the owner will review with the culture committee, how are things going? How is it improving? How can we make things better? And sharing it out amongst the whole company. Again, if you've got a survey, you can ask them, or you can do Office Vibe or Tiny Pulse. And then you should start to see things in the agency improving. So if all that sounds like an awful lot of hard work, you have to remind yourself why it's actually worth it. So if you would actually put the work in and you have an agency with great culture, these are the benefits that you're going to actually receive on it. You're going to have people on your team, their friends are going to be asking to join the agency. You're going to get competitors, people from competitors asking to join your agency. And I know this because I have seen this work. It's going on right now in some of the agencies. They're just looking at what's happening and they're going, my agency is not great. And they're jumping ship, which is, something you've got to consider. If there's an agency nearby that's got great culture, that's something you've got to replicate in your own business. If you have clients coming to you and they're approaching you and saying things like, I hear you're really great to work with, that's because you've got a good culture, as well as, of course, you're doing great results for their clients. But hearing that you're good to work with, that you're great to work with, you're good to work with, and that's your people, and that your people are happy. You have your office vibe or your tiny pulse scores are above average. I think there's like the industry is like 8 or 8.2. So if you can get over that, that means you have a happy business. You walk into your office and every day it is clean and tidy because people have been helping each other to work it out. You also have the team are organized and getting themselves together when it comes to social events. You hear about them, oh, we're going for pizza tonight, or we're going to the cinema tonight. The odd occasion that they want to hang out together. That means they get on during the day and they've got the same values and they want to hang out in the evening. Of course, there will even end up the odd office romance, which is by the by, but we'll take that as it comes. Plenty of agency marriages have come out of the agency world. The other one is your utilization numbers are 70% and above because you have everything in the system that needs to keep that going. Above that, not because you've got your project management tool, you have the best systems, you've got the good expertise, and now you have a team that's working together to help each other out. They take care of each other when the workload goes, when in the event of illness and holidays, when the workload needs to be shared out, and they're very happy to do so. They're not rolling their eyes. They're like, nope, it's okay. We've planned this. We know that Billy is off next week, so we're going to actually work on divvying out his work, telling his clients, blah, blah, blah. We're helping out. And they're happy. They're not begrudgingly doing it. And then the last one, another reason why you'd invest in a good culture is that you're going to have higher client and staff retention rates. This is really important for you as a business owner, you know that. So yeah, it is a lot of work. But, it's a lot of work. It is a bit of work to get a culture code working in your business. You're going to have to invest a good solid month getting this infrastructure set up. But after that, it's going to be a few hours a week by the culture committee, and then you checking in every quarter to make sure it's running accordingly. But you'll know it's running accordingly because all those numbers and all those factors will kick in. So if you wanted to look at some agencies that are doing this well, I've actually interviewed Impact already, and actually I've interviewed all 3 of these. So boom, I've actually got a loop around. Salted Stone, Impact, and Impulse Creative. If you go back and listen to any of those podcasts, they talk about culture all the time. They're not the biggest and the best for on the whim. They have invested in their culture and they have got great people. And if you ever meet anyone from those agencies, you can see it shining through their eyes. They love where they work, they have a great time, they get great work done, and they just enjoy being in that place. So check out those 3 agencies, check out my podcast with them, and extra reading if you wanted to get into it. The Culture Code by HubSpot do a great job, and also Daniel Coyle has written a book called The Culture Code, which I've used a lot of material from that book in the past. I think that's the new edition as well. I might have read the old one, so there might be an updated one. And then finally, if put a CTA in here, I don't normally, but I have one today. If you would like some more information, there is a masterclass on agency culture available now. You can head over to our website, or you can drop me a line or give me a shout out, or drop us a line at hello@growitgroup.com. I hope I have convinced you to invest some time in your agency culture code. And if you ever needed a hand with it, you could also give me a shout as well. Have a super day, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care, everyone.